Karma came too soon. Isaiah's 5 words after Portia's secret. The news broke like glass. Portia stood frozen in the middle of her living room, holding the small white stick in her trembling hand. A line, then another line. 2. She blinked again, as if disbelief alone could erase the truth. The faint buzz of her phone pulled her back. A message from Isaiah. Just 5 words. Her heart slammed against her chest. Karma had a strange way of finding you, and for Portia Robinson, karma had come too soon. Portia had built her life on control. Her career, her relationships, her secrets. The hospital knew her as Dr. Portia Robinson, calm, capable, unshakable. But inside, she was a storm waiting to break. Isaiah didn't know yet. At least, she thought he didn't. They had ended things weeks ago, after too many arguments about trust, past mistakes, and the one truth she never wanted to say aloud, that she wasn't sure who she was anymore. Now, that truth had a heartbeat. When she finally opened the door, Isaiah stood there, tall, still, eyes shadowed with something unreadable. "Isaiah," she whispered. He didn't move, didn't speak for a long moment. Then his gaze dropped, to her shaking hands, to the test stick she still hadn't managed to hide. "Is that?" Her lips parted, but no sound came. "Yes," she said finally. "It's positive." He exhaled slowly. The silence between them was heavy enough to drown in. And then he said 5 words that shattered everything. "This isn't how it ends." Portia stared at him, heart racing. "What does that mean?" Isaiah stepped closer, eyes dark with something between love and fury. "It means you don't get to rewrite the story without me." Her breath hitched. "Isaiah, you made it clear you were done." "I was angry," he interrupted. "But this," he gestured toward her trembling hand, "changes everything." She shook her head. "It doesn't fix the past." Isaiah's jaw tightened. "No. But maybe it's karma trying to give us another chance." Portia turned away. "Or karma punishing us." He didn't argue. The silence that followed said everything words couldn't. Outside, thunder cracked across the Port Charles skyline, the perfect storm brewing both in the sky and in their hearts. By morning, the news had leaked, not the pregnancy, but whispers of something deeper. Trina had overheard part of a phone call. Curtis had seen Isaiah leaving Portia's house late at night. Gossip moved faster than truth in Port Charles. At General Hospital, Elizabeth raised an eyebrow as Portia walked past. "Rough night?" she asked gently. Portia forced a smile. "Just tired." Elizabeth nodded, but the look said she wasn't fooled. Later that afternoon, Jordan cornered her in the break room. "You and Isaiah," she began, arms crossed. "Is there something going on again?" Portia's heartbeat stumbled. "Jordan, I really don't think that's any of your—" "Because if there is," Jordan interrupted, "you deserve to know something. Isaiah hasn't been entirely honest either." Portia froze. "What are you talking about?" Jordan's gaze softened, but her words hit like glass. "He's been helping someone from your past." "Karma," Portia whispered under her breath. "Always a step ahead." That night, Portia couldn't sleep. Her mind spun with questions she didn't want answers to. When the knock came at midnight, she already knew who it was. Isaiah. He stood in the doorway, rain dripping from his coat, face pale but determined. "Jordan told you," he said quietly. Portia's silence was confirmation enough. "She said you were helping someone," Portia said softly. "Who?" Isaiah hesitated, then said the name that made her blood run cold. "Cyrus Renaud." Portia's breath caught. "You're lying." "I wish I was," Isaiah said. "He reached out a month ago. Said he had information about your past, about something that could destroy you. I didn't believe him, until I saw the files." Portia took a step back, her pulse racing. "You went behind my back." "I was trying to protect you," Isaiah said. "But I didn't know what he was planning." "Karma came too soon," Portia whispered, more to herself than to him. The next morning, Portia found herself standing outside Cyrus Renaud's cell. The cold metal bars felt like a mirror, trapping her between guilt and fear. Cyrus smirked. "Dr. Robinson, to what do I owe the pleasure?" "You sent Isaiah after me," she said. Cyrus leaned forward, eyes glinting. "Not after you. For you. I thought you'd want to know the truth before it finds you first." "What truth?" He slid a folded document through the bars. Your name isn't the only one on the birth records you've been hiding.
Portia hesitated before opening it. What she saw made her knees go weak. It wasn't just her name. It was Isaiah's. Isaiah Robinson.
Listed as father on a confidential record dated years ago, connected to a child that never lived past birth.
How did you get this? Portia demanded, voice breaking. Cyrus smiled faintly. Karma, Dr. Robinson.
It's always on time for those who think they can escape it.
Portia left without another word, her world spinning.
When she reached home, Isaiah was waiting.
You knew, she whispered. He nodded slowly. I didn't remember everything until Cyrus showed me.
I had buried it. The accident, the baby, the loss.
Portia felt tears burn her eyes. And now?
Now we're standing in the same place again, Isaiah finished. Except this time, maybe we can save what's left.
Days passed. The hospital buzzed with rumors. Curtis confronted Portia, demanding answers. Trina avoided her, confused and hurt by the half-truths floating around. Portia found herself isolated, except for Isaiah. He stayed, silent but steady. Every morning he brought her coffee, every night he checked in. It was a kind of quiet love that grew in chaos. One evening, she looked at him and whispered, "Why are you still here?" Isaiah smiled sadly.
Because those 5 words still mean something.
Portia frowned. This isn't how it ends. He nodded.
I meant it then, and I mean it now.
But karma wasn't done. Cyrus leaked the documents.
By the next day, the hospital board demanded explanations. Portia's medical license was under review. Her pregnancy, now public knowledge, became headline fodder for every gossip blog in Port Charles. In the chaos, Isaiah was arrested for obstruction. Curtis turned his back. Trina fled town. And Portia stood alone again, watching everything crumble. She whispered to the empty air, maybe karma didn't come too soon. Maybe I was just too late. Weeks later, Isaiah was released, charges dropped after Jordan intervened.
But the damage was done.
He found Portia sitting by the docks, the wind cold and sharp.
Still think this is karma? He asked softly. Portia nodded. It feels like it. Isaiah sat beside her.
Maybe karma isn't punishment. Maybe it's correction. Maybe it's trying to put things where they belong.
She looked at him, tears glistening. And where do we belong? Isaiah reached for her hand.
Right here. Starting over.
Months later, a quiet morning in Port Charles. The baby's heartbeat filled the hospital room. Strong, steady. Isaiah stood beside Portia, fingers brushing hers.
After everything, she whispered, you still believe in us?
He smiled faintly.
I believe in second chances.
She exhaled, eyes softening.
Then maybe karma wasn't cruel after all. Isaiah looked down at the newborn in her arms, and for the first time in months, his voice was steady, certain. He leaned close and whispered 5 words that changed everything again. Months turned into seasons. Portia returned to work, her reputation slowly rebuilt. Isaiah's loyalty became legend among the hospital staff, the man who stood through storms. Trina returned home, reconciled with her mother. Curtis offered forgiveness, slow but real. And on quiet nights, when Portia held her child and watched Isaiah from across the room, she realized karma wasn't the enemy. It was balance. It gave what it took, and took what it gave, right on time. Because sometimes, the universe doesn't punish. It teaches. And Isaiah's 5 words would echo in her mind forever.